What's up, family? It's your boy Gerald. It is Friday in the afternoon, the 17th of February. You are in the beginning of your weekend, and I hope you're well. Sidestepping the negativity by grounding your feet, by speaking your truth, but of course, without question, placing them first in everything you do. So, I'm sitting here watching the news, and it seems like in a town near you, in a city near you, in a state near you, the antes have been stepped up. And every time you turn around, it seems like there's another gunshot being knocked off. It seems like there's another robbery taking place. It seems like there's another body laid out in the street. And it made me think about one of my favorite artists. I have a top three. Marvin Gaye. And one of the most pivotal songs that as a young boy that I fell in love with was What's Going On. And as I matured, I started to understand the balladeer from my home, Washington, D.C., and what he sang about when it came to relationships and love and the ups and downs. But I've been thinking, what would Marvin Gaye sing about if he were alive? Would he have regrets? Or would the words of the ecology song be revived? I remember when I was a little boy, they used to run this commercial. You can find it on YouTube. In the late 70s, the United States had an issue with air pollution as well as pollution found on the highways and byways, to the point that they decided to put a commercial out of a Native American man looking at his homeland, and as the camera shot turned towards his face, you saw the tears roll down. It makes me wonder, what are we going to leave for our children when we're gone? Because sooner or later, you're going to take that last breath. Sooner or later, all that you've seen, experienced, embraced, or even turned away from is going to be the epitome of what you stood for. That's why I convey to you, millennials, you ain't ready. You ain't ready. You ain't ready for this world. How about the realm you can't see? How about the realm you refuse to acknowledge exists? I'm just saying, you can't scream you want change if you're not willing to change what matters most, and that's you. I just saw this video, and I wish I had enough forethought. There's a underlining trend of LGBT, LMNOP. I'm starting to call them the alphabet people. That they are messing with the minds of adopted children. And I heard something about this maybe like 6, 7 months ago, how I know in Virginia they were proposing on the state legislative floor a referendum for gender acknowledgement, and how they were trying to classify that as young as 3. And I'm like, you can't respect the innocence of a child. But then it made sense when I saw actress Charlize Theron and how she was rearing her son, who is 5, and placing her ideologies on him, not knowing that that little boy will one day come to understand and question his who he is. And that's when the rebellion will begin, not only for his gender, but for his culture. And only thing I see winning right now, family, is that there's going to be a whole lot of mental health providers that are going to be required in the next 20 to 30 years. There's going to be a whole lot of people that are going to be required to deprogram because of the damage done. No, this is not a rant. This is not a ramble. I just want you to look outside your window and take it in. What's going on with our communities, family? Because it seems like the more and more we progress down the timeline, the more and more it looks like anarchy wants to have its footing in your life. People walk around mad for no damn reason, being destructive, because the truth of the matter is they lack communicational skills. Why are you so mad? Why are you so angry? Is it because there's something going on with you and that's the only tactic that you know to express? Or is it maybe because of the fact that that expression really is a cry for safety? Well, that didn't work last time, so I'm going to open up and I'm going to up the ante. No different. We see it in the community all the time. See a young woman get upset because of the debauchery that a young, a young undeveloped man, because he ain't a man. What do? You put your finances, your freedom, and your state of being on hold for a state to say what you can and cannot do. This is what I'm talking about, family. I'm talking about the countless videos that are uploaded every day showing you, queen, in bad light, celebrating it when we should be nurturing you. Society has said, well, you know what? Guess what? You don't get your way, you act out. There's another woman acting out of her comfort level, destroying property only to be what? Incarcerated, mandated to give that person an upgrade, because that's what ends up happening. You do understand that. Well, Gerald, I just want revenge. He cheated on me. So I'm gonna use this tactic because I know that it'll affect him, but it affects you more. But you know what it affected more? You let him lay on top of you to begin with. When in actuality he didn't deserve to hear you breathe. Now you've got to stand in front of a courtroom with a judge who could care less, that's going to tell you how you're going to play out your life for an indefinite period, and a monetary sanction to reward bad behavior. Who am I talking to? All the while you want to call you a boss? Newsflash, bosses don't get locked up. They don't have people tell them what they are and what they're not going to do. They set the tone. They're also unique because they are leaders, not followers. Because there's an end goal, and it should be what? To be the best you. But you don't see that. You see countless examples of what not to be. To the point that if you don't join the commonality of what is being promoted, they don't mind smearing you. They don't mind. So there's this, if I don't beat them, join a mentality. I keep trying to tell you, family, there's no reward being an imitation when you were made priceless to begin with. There's no reward in that. But the person that gets rewarded the most is the person that owns that business that you give your hard-earned money to. They laugh all the way to the bank because they know that you'll be back. It's Friday, right? They know y'all gonna be right at that door saying, let me get this. In the back of their mind, they're saying, why don't you grow your own? It's more beautiful, but they also know that you're impulsive. It takes fortitude and discipline to have the harvest to be the best you. That's why you see a trend of a lot of I remember when Monique, yeah, I paused for a minute because some of y'all will understand and some of y'all won't. But until you decide to love yourself, you're playing yourself. You're playing yourself. You're wasting your time, you're wasting your money, and you're a statistic. And the sad thing about it is they're exploiting this. And I told you, when they get this, they get this. It's like going through a rebirth all over again, but socially. They teach you how to walk, talk, act. Not for your benefit, but for theirs. And they put it right in front of your face. While you turn around sitting over here saying, well, you know what? It's them. It's dumb people. Dumb people look just like you too. Don't why we giving them a pass? Hmm? You realize how much wealth we have in the minority community? Why aren't we building schools? Hmm? We keep throwing up there, it takes a village to raise a child. Why are we not? Then I heard people say, well, we need to govern ourselves. You can't govern yourself if you don't know who you are. Because the first person that thinks they're being slighted, they're going to deliberately put all effort to try to take you down because they're that insecure. Crabs in the barrel mentality, which actually was a derivative. It used to be monkeys in the barrel. Some of y'all knew that too, didn't you? They even sold that as a board game. Why? What you think they did? And those were our babies. I ain't even got to bring up the gator bait thing. But you got people sitting up here want to say, be proud. I'm proud of this, I'm proud of that, but what example are you setting? Hmm? What example are you setting? Because the example that you embrace will be the tools that will influence the people who look up to you. I keep trying to tell you, millennial, y'all ain't built for this. You ain't ready. And the sad thing is, they know it. That's why they pushing. That's why they pushing the social acceptance for drug use. That's why they're pushing for everybody to be distracted. That's why they want to convince you to not use that beautiful tool called your mind. But they'll quickly say, well, you know what? I want to confuse you. You still think God made a mistake in creating you. But you don't see the commonality of your pain, Who you think? Who do you think's behind that? It's not him. You still think them demons don't exist? And you still think that your pride and ego is going to carry you the rest of your days? When the fool acknowledges that God exists, the earth shakes. You better learn how to bridle your tongue, walk in humility, not pride. There's a difference between being proud and pride, because pride and ego only ushers in death. Being proud is sacred. That means you value something. Pride is based off of insecurity and fear. Some of y'all value your backside than your brain, and they laughing at you. They don't even hide it anymore. They just put it out like a child looking at a animated movie. You don't even see it. Some of y'all gonna go home with a mindset of, yeah, Gerard, I hear what you're saying, but I guarantee tomorrow you're gonna have a different outlook because something's gonna play out tonight. Just remember where you heard it from. Maybe then you'll finally stop running, start loving yourself, and place God first. Because until you do, you're not protected. That means anything and everything you're exposed to. You don't deserve that. But until you see your value and worth, that's what is reciprocated back. So stop worrying about what your neighbor's yard looked like and worry about yours. Because when you finally have the courage to cut the grass and trim the sides and sweep off the carport, maybe you'll finally see the snakes that have been living there the whole time. Be safe, y'all. Have a blessed weekend.